Hello everybody, welcome back to the stream. As the stream title may suggest, I have no idea what to do today. I still have a number of things in my backlog here. I've been working through the to-do list though, working on just getting a bunch of things into the game. I'll go over some of the notable things that I did. I guess there's not really that many notable things. A lot of the stuff that I need to do for the demo is just like quality of life stuff, translation stuff, so it's not that interesting. But since I don't really know what to do next, this may be a good stream to just add some new content to the game. So yeah, we will think about doing that. But before I do that, Alka Mortis is available on Steam for wishlisting and playtesting. It's not available on Steam yet for purchasing, unfortunately, but that's coming soon. So yeah, head on over to the Steam page, click request access. You can join the playtest. The playtest will still be running for another, like, I don't know, half a week, 4 days, something like that. So if you're interested, you still have plenty of time to try the game out. You can also add it to your wish list, like I said, that would be appreciated. You can also support the game on Patreon. I don't think these playtest things are accurate anymore, so I'll fix that after the stream. But yeah, this is the last playtest, so being a subscriber is not going to get you access to any more playtests. At least I don't think so. But if you subscribe at the sponsor tier for at least 1 month, I will send you an Alka Mortis Steam key. So you have until the game launches to subscribe to this. It acts as a pre-purchase. You'll get a Steam key to your inbox, and your name will be included in the Alka Mortis credits. Again, this will be open until the day that Alka Mortis launches, and then those perks are going to go away as well. So a couple more months for you to take advantage of that if you want your name in the next big indie hit, in the credits anyway. And I also have my Udemy courses. These teach you how to build complete games in the Godot engine. I've got several of them, so check them out. That's a great way to support me as well, and also learn how to build games. Alrighty then. Hello, Fire Blast. Welcome. Good to see you. Ninja Link. Hello. Good morning. Good to see you. Hello, Clickertail. Hello, Mohal. Welcome. Welcome back, everybody. Footlong Icicle. Hello. Good morning, Andrew. Guildy as charged. Hello. Welcome. Emerson. Good to see you. Wooius. Welcome. Naxot. Thank you for the supporter subscription on YouTube. That's very much appreciated. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, Stray Pointer. W. Burke. Hello. All right. It's Friday, everybody. That means, well, yeah, I mean, it's almost the weekend, I guess. My weekends don't really mean much anymore because I do this. But for those of you who have real weekends, happy Friday. Anyway, so what do we want to do? First of all, let me show you what I've got going on here. So I gave bosses a random legendary ability, and I also allowed characters to start to define starting board effects. So if I go to my character select, currently Brittlebones is the only one. Brittlebones is the only one that has a starting board effect, but Friday just means more time for my kids to bug me. Kidding, mostly. Yep. I don't have children, but I remember being a child. Oh, I'm in the wrong branch. Wait a minute. Oh, no, I'm not. Sorry, main menu. I gotta go through here first. Okay, so Brittlebones has a starting board effect now, and I'm probably going to do that for the Lich and for the Paladin as well. So basically the latter 3 characters. I don't think these characters, none of these, the Courier, the Priestess, or the, Necromancer are going to have starting board artifacts or starting board effects. I keep saying board artifacts. It doesn't make any sense. But yeah, I think it's a good way of further differentiating the characters from each other. So Brittle Bones is very basic. It just adds the apply 4 armor ability to everything. But that pairs very well with the artifact that he starts with. So yeah. So that's just a little bit of extra armor generation right down the middle there. I need to come up with some starting board effects for these guys as well, but we'll do that later. But yeah, so that's just an extra little bit of customization I can do to make the characters feel different from each other. And of course, you know, that's going to be useful to have if I ever decide to add more characters to the game, right? So that's one thing that I did. And then the other thing that I did is debug. Nor save file. Let's see. All nodes visitable. Okay, good. So another thing I did is I just am assigning a random legendary ability to bosses now. So if I go here, go to the stronghold, you can see that the mayor here has got a legendary ability, legendary paralyze. So yeah, actually I want to see how that works out. So the enemies just pull from the same, they pull from the same ability pool, legendary ability pool as the player. And what I'm doing is I'm just excluding any poison related legendary abilities because the enemies are not supposed to apply poison. So maybe in the future, what I'll do is I will create a separate set of boss abilities. But for now, I want to test this, see how that goes. So you can see that these boss abilities here, so I'm taking all of the legendary abilities and I'm just removing any that have the keyword poison. And that basically just filters down to any legendary ability that is not related to poison, so that helps. So yeah, character that starts with deep sea items would be cool, like a drowned pirate or something, with a hook for a hand. Yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool, for sure. All right, so what do we want to do here? I have this undead horse that's in progress. I kind of don't want to work on that though because there's a special interaction that I also want to be secret. I can't reveal everything to you guys before launching. There is this one, allow map access during encounters, that I think would be... That's been something that's been requested quite a few times. It would be a little bit technically tricky, I think. And also from a UX perspective, like, you know, indicating to the player that, hey, you're not actually really in the map right now. You have to return back to the event and finish that. I think that would be kind of interesting. So we could either take a look at this, implementing map access during encounters, or we can just do some content. So I will leave it up to whoever's in the chat. The first answer in the chat is what we'll do. Content or add map access during encounters. Content. All right, Ninja Link's got it. All right, let's do some content. Let's do romance options. Okay. So, shoot. I do want to explore this idea that, okay, never mind. Let's see. Cause reagents to be applied twice. Debuff removal, remove X stacks or random debuff. So those are enchantments. Board effects. Definitely need to add more board effects. Definitely need to add more legendary abilities. Let's see, we got some artifact ideas here. I haven't been copying over the suggestions from the Discord, so let's just scroll through there and see if anything catches our eye. Alchemortis suggestions. Oh, enchant idea board effects apply to this item twice. Oh, increasing damage based on skipping counter. That's from Jack. I mean, we here's something boring we could do is we could fill out the missing enchantments and reagents and stuff, the things that are missing, like we don't have a reagent to protect heal abilities, we don't have an enchantment to convert, you know, X to Y. So that would be the boring thing to do, is to fill out all those gaps. The reason I say it's boring is because it would basically just be a copy-paste job, but that would actually increase the amount of content in the game quite substantially. But we probably want to do something more interesting. What should we work on? Let's see. I just had an idea. Let's see. A reagent idea. Copy item. Well, do we want to do copy? Maybe I should do less copying in reagents and more like moving. Move X items enchantments to Y item. Do we want to make it exceed the cap? Or maybe we'll replace... replace Y items and chance with X items and chance. Something like that. That could be useful. Should have waited. We need a reagent that resets items back to their default unalchemized state. Okay, I think I have that written down. Yeah, reagent to revert item to pre-alchemized state. So let's do that. So basically, what does that mean? Just like restoring all the original abilities. We want to keep probably the... Now, the place where that's going to get tricky is the legendary, I think. Or maybe not. So do we want to remove the legendary status as well? Like, do we just want to strip everything? Like, just get rid of all of the... Like, so restore all the abilities exactly as they were. Get rid of the legendary ability if it has one. Get rid of its legendary status. Obviously, get rid of any of the corrupted abilities because that's part of the restoring. But we want to keep things like the tier of the item because that's not related to alchemy, right? Hello, Light Tiramisu, welcome. I'd vote for stripping everything alchemy related. Okay, let's do that then. What do we want to do? Maybe we'll just create an item and we'll call it just like... What do we want to call it? Like flubber or something? And what size should it be? I'm thinking if we make it 2x1. So the question is, how useful is this going to be? So one of the ways that I'm restricting reagent power is I'm limiting how many items they can affect at once. But for the weaker reagents, you know, I can do things like, you know, add, you know, affect every item that's above or whatever. So for example, this one, I could make it like a 2x1, this size here, and then make it reset every item above, right? We're not very useful as it restores abilities that are lost to corruption, especially 1x1 items. Yeah, so the thing that I'm thinking is, do we want to make it like something interesting, like everything above, or do we want to just do like top adjacent or something? Maybe top adjacent is the way to go. And the other problem is I have no idea what to call it. We need an idea for it. I already have Alcahest. Oh, actually I have an interesting idea, but it's not going to fit in this shape. So maybe I'll do 1 by 2. I don't know if I want to do 2 by 2. I have an idea. Chrysalis. Chrysalis. Did I spell it correctly? It's a pupa of a butterfly. Chrysalis. Yes, I spelled it correctly. All right, now we got to figure out how to do this. Load default palette. Okay. L shape and parking it in the pouch would be cool. That is a good idea for a reagent. I will keep that in mind. Make an ox bezoar, just because I was watching Apothecary Diaries. I don't know what that is. Do I dare look that up? Oh, they're gallstones? That's cool. Oh, really? It's an anime? All right, so the chrysalis here, I think I have an idea for how I want to present this. So we have like a branch going up like this, and then we do something like this. That doesn't look quite right, but you know, we'll just get the basic shape down. We'll just get the basic shape down. Actually, that doesn't look too bad. Actually, that doesn't look too bad at all. I just gotta figure out what to do with the shape here. And then if we do, let's see. I want to round this off a little bit more on that side and maybe de-round it a little bit on that side. Yeah, that sounds good to me. And then we want to have, I don't know, I'm just drawing chrysalis from memory, I guess. So we want to have something like this. Maybe make it not go so far up. And then maybe we do, I think I can make that work. We can make that work, I think. And then we'll just do something very basic here. Oops. Just do something very basic. Probably want to Yeah, something like that. I don't know. We're just doodling. We are just doodling. So I'll play around with the colors a little bit more, but do that. Do we want to do like a little extra highlight here? Kind of make it look shiny, I guess. That might be too much. Actually, I think that's probably okay. So obviously I'm going to want to do some more shading on this, but I think that's generally feeling all right. And then of course up here, we'll probably want to do some kind of leaf or something. This doesn't really look like a leaf that much, but that's okay, I guess. Yeah, we'll try that out. See what that does. And then we probably want to do, I don't know what it looks like when the thing is attached, but we'll just do something like that, I suppose. Probably just, yeah. Something like that. I don't know. We could start shading this in a little bit more now. Shade that like that. Bring this down. I don't know if that might be too much. We'll see. Maybe not. Let's see. I don't like this down here. Actually, maybe I'll make this even rounder. Yeah, maybe that's better. Yeah, I don't know about this. Let's see. The problem is it just looks too flat over here. But I don't know. Maybe it's okay. I might redraw some of this. Oops. Let's round that off a little bit. No, I don't know. Something's not right about this. Let's delete all of this. Okay. So let's try something a little bit simpler. Okay. And then maybe that's better. Maybe that's better. Gotta make it look like it's ridged somewhat. And I don't think I was doing that very well before, so maybe now it's a little bit better. That may be okay now. Yeah, that might be better. And then I wonder if I just slap a couple of these in here. Yeah, I think that's probably fine. That's probably fine. Do I want to thicken this up? Maybe not. Okay, and then I probably do want, I don't know, do I want to do this too? Yes, do that. That probably works. And then we do some kind of I need to figure out if I can actually put highlights in here somewhere. Maybe that's okay. I don't know. Well, maybe it's all right. Maybe Oh yeah, something like this. Hmm. That looks better. Get rid of this. Add just like a handful of those. Yes. And then let's just flatten that side out. Yeah, let's do that. Maybe. Oops. Okay, and then I know I gotta catch up on the chat. Just give me a second. I feel like the highlight is too much. Why is this so difficult? I think maybe it's not. Well, I also don't need to spend like all day on this, but I feel like this needs to be thicker, right? Like it almost needs to be out here. Yeah. I think that was my problem. Maybe that was the problem. Well, it looks fine, I think. Probably I don't like that part right there, but that's okay. Maybe this part should actually come up and meet like there, kind of. Well, whatever. Quit while I'm ahead, maybe? Ox Bazaar is a real thing, yeah. Hello, Star Can. Star Can, I'll just call you Star Can. Is it supposed to be? It's supposed to be a chrysalis. Hello, W. Burke. Man, I suck at pixel art. Wait, could you add companions? That will be cool. They like give you buffs. Probably not gonna do that, no. Gotta keep the scope in check now. Now we need a giant moth to go with it. Well, this is gonna be a reagent, but I guess it would be kind of cool if this was a, like an ability, or an item. I pushed your game to Etsy89, the game doctor. He's gonna have co-op with Celerity today. See if we can get you some extra cloud. I'm gonna be honest with you, I have no idea what like half the words in that statement means. Let's see, Etsy89, the game doctor. Is that a YouTuber? He's gonna have a co-op with Celerity. Is that another YouTuber? And then I'm not familiar with this slang extra cloud. So I'm sorry, I am but a simple chopped unk. You're gonna have to use simple unk terms for me. But Thank you. If you are pushing that to a streamer, I appreciate that. Maybe I should look these people up. The Game Doctor. Oh, I see. Okay, I got you. Thank you. Appreciate that. I don't know what is celerity. Not looking for the word celerity YouTuber. Well, how many cards in the game right now? There are 200 and... Well, I don't have to guess. I can just check. 237. That's total between enemies and player. There are 84 enemy faction items. There are 151 player items, and there are 2 cross-faction items. I'm going to do more cross-faction items as well. I think those are cool. But the absolute total number is 237. The goal is to get that closer to like 350 by release. So I have over 100 to do still. The thing is, though, that's going to be easy because like a lot of those items are going to be reagents. So there's probably like a dozen more reagents that I can create that will be very simple to implement. So that's 12 right there, right? And then obviously adding more player items. I want to add more like special interactions. So a lot of the items too that I'm adding to the game are like hidden or secret items that have special interactions before you can unlock them. So the pool of items that you can obtain just from, you know, visiting boosters and finishing combats is actually smaller than the total pool of items. Then of course I want to add more player or enemy items. I think the enemy items are cool. I want to add a lot more variety of those because there are ways in the game of acquiring enemy items, and so I think those can be like wild card things, right? Like even if you've seen all of the player faction items, it's very unlikely that you would have acquired all of the enemy items, right? So throwing in the acquisition of enemy items as wild card things, I'm hoping is gonna keep adding a little bit of spice to your runs, a little bit of build variety to your runs, even after you've already encountered everything there is to see from the player side. So yeah, we'll see. Add more highlights. I think it's okay. I think it's okay the way it is now. I might just keep it like this, honestly. I, of course, have to do this up here. Yeah. That's probably okay. I don't really need to go. I don't really need to be that deep with it. Okay. I guess that will have to be good. Whatever, we'll just keep it like that. It's fine. It's a minor detail. All right, I think it's probably all right. I think we can call that good enough. All right, so we've got the chrysalis. Let's go in here. Chrysalis of rebirth. If you add the of rebirth, it makes it sound a lot more impressive than it is. Reagent. Is player excluded from loot table? Is in development. I don't think I need to check that. So we need the flavor text for it. Dimensions are 1x2. It's a reagent. I think that's good. Okay, so now we need to do the script for it. So let's go ahead. Oh, what did I change here? Platform decoration texture. Wait, why did that get removed? Why did that get removed? Hold on a second. Character select, discard. Okay. I may have accidentally saved that or something on the other branch. So I have a script now that can strip content from the demo build. There's just some like spots in the code where I need to fix up stripped content. These platform decoration textures are one such thing. So anyway, that's not an important detail. Hello, Ashwin. What's cooking? We are making new content. What are the cross faction? Cross faction is oil barrels and candle, I believe. Obtaining enemy items is the only reason I know what any of them do. That's funny. Someone who doesn't know anything about your name, let me tell you what your artwork looks like. A larva? Yeah, I mean, that's close. It's a chrysalis, which is like the pupa stage of a moth or butterfly or I'm pretty sure there are other bugs that do chrysalises too. Or are they called something different? There's a different word for them. Let me look it up. I guess it's just called a pupa. Yeah. So for some reason we have a special word for butterfly and moth pupas, but everything else just gets downgraded to pupa. Then your pixel art makes sense. That was a secret sanity check. You know, you do lots of those. Yeah, I appreciate it. It's always helpful when, you know, if you come in and say, hey, I think it looks like this, that can tell me often if I'm on the right track or not. There are a lot of items in the game where you wouldn't know what they are without reading the name. And I may try to fix those up at some point, but I think for the most part, if you don't know what an art represents in the game, once you see the name, you can be like, oh, I see it now. Okay, so that was the initial work on the chrysalis. So now I need to do scripts, data, ability, composed. Let's do a new alchemy, revert, alchemization. Why is all this stuff up? Okay. So this item is actually not going to be that different from the gold. Is gold even... I don't remember seeing gold anywhere. Is this even dropping in the game? Maybe I just don't pay attention to it. Pixel art is an unforgiving process. That is true. What if it undoes the last alchemy to distinguish? The problem is I actually am not storing a history of alchemization, so I actually don't know how to revert the last alchemy. I would have to add a bunch of extra data tracking, and then I would also have to serialize that to the save file. So it's an interesting idea, but I think it's a little bit too technically effortful to do just for one reagent. Yeah, I would somehow need to serialize like the history of alchemy transformations. So serializing it would be the difficult part, but then also like applying the undos, like so applying the alchemization in reverse, yeah. That would be quite a lot. Do I want to, I mean, creates a new item. So this creates a new item and the pupa resets. The other thing about this is that this is random, the entire board. Whereas the pupa, the chrysalis here would be... I mean, we can add an extra functionality to it too. So I could say, for example, reverts all adjacent items to their pre-alchemized state. And then if you revert, more than 4 items or whatever, you get like a random bonus item or something. Like we could add a little bit of extra stuff to it to spice it up. Good morning, Necromantic. Distinguish sounds like a good alchemical potion name. Oh, Distinguis, yeah. That would be a good one. What if it takes effect on the next alchemy? That way you only log the alchemy with that reagent and it gives you the ability to roll back a bad pot. So that is an interesting idea. I mean, that's not going to accomplish the goal of what we wanted to do, which is revert an item to its pre-alchemy state. But yeah, since, I mean, gold functionally does that already. So maybe we have to do something different for the chrysalis. Let me see. Now, the idea of being able to re-roll the alchemy if you don't like the result, if the chrysalis was in the pot, is an interesting one. That would be a little bit less of a technical lift for sure. I don't have many cards to work with here. Let me make sure there's nothing. Okay. So if I do the werewolf and the skeleton warrior and the candle, put those all in, grab all those out, then I take add item gold. Well, this adds an item, so it doesn't reset the item exactly. It just creates a different... So maybe, I mean, maybe reverting is still fine. So gold gives you an additional item of the same type, whereas the revert would just change that item. Gold gives you the default item back? Yeah. So gold says item of the same type. What did you think it meant? Like, it would give you like a minion or a weapon? I mean, I'm not opposed to changing gold either. Because there could be something there could be something more interesting we could do with gold if we want to use the rebirth for the chrysalis or the reversion, alchemy reversion. So with gold, we could do something like it straight up just transmutes the item into a different item, but then it could preserve all of the abilities, right? So for example, if you threw gold in the pot with like a stacked up skeleton dragon, there could be a chance that it would take all of those abilities and everything and just put them on a 1-by-1 item, right? So we could make that change to gold, maybe. That could actually be really interesting. So it just takes the item and all of the abilities you have on the item, and it just transforms it into a different item, but with all of those abilities. That might be interesting. And then the chrysalis can just be the reversion one. That might actually get me to use gold for once. Yeah, I think gold doesn't have a super strong identity. So yeah, let's do that. So we're going to balloon this into changing gold as well. I do agree. I almost never use gold when I'm in my playtests, when I'm doing my own little personal playtests. So, and plus, like, we have the eyes, right? Add item, what did I call it? Eye vines, I think. Eye vines. Yeah, so we have this one, which creates an exact copy, which is like just a better version of gold, even though it's rarer. So yeah, maybe we just rework gold. Should be using it now that there's Ring of Departed. That's true. Write it as type minion or weapon, yeah, like a Philosopher's Stone. Well, do we rework gold or not? Tell you what, I'm going to think about it for a couple minutes, but I'm going to take a quick 3-minute break, and when I come back, we'll decide what to do. I'm kind of leaning towards changing what gold does, but I think it still may be useful to have a reagent that just creates a base copy of an item. So I don't know. But anyway, I'll be right back in just 3 minutes, and we will continue on. Okay, I'm back. What are we gonna do with the gold? Uh-oh. I actually forgot something. Oops, BRB again. I swear it's not possible for me to get back to my computer without forgetting something. Oh, there's some baby deer outside. That's cute. Anyway, new here is the combat system like Overgeared Hero. I'm unfamiliar with that game. Let me look. Overgeared Hero. I don't know. Is it a mobile game? I don't know. Yeah, I guess it looks similar. I think it's similar, yes. I can't tell though, really, from the screenshots. Hello. Oh, I already said hello to you. But hello again, I guess. Necromantic. Yes, it's mobile. It's somewhat similar. I mean, yeah, you put your items in the board and then it's an auto battler. It's all about board optimization, but I've got multiple different ability types. The core hook of this game is the alchemy system, which allows you to merge the abilities from items onto other items. So you could kind of like pull items off of one item and put it on a different item. So that's the kind of the core hook of this game. But so yeah, I mean, but if you like that kind of combat where you kind of do a Tetris inventory, min max everything, then yeah, it's definitely like that. Gold. All right, so do we want to rework gold? I guess I'm not entirely sure if I want to do that. Let's just not worry about gold right now. Let's get the chrysalis working. So the nice thing is I could just basically copy this. Alchemy revert, alchemization. Let's do order by random, tag filters, not reagent. Query directions is equal to adjacent. Reverts. Reverts. Query target provider to query string template 0 to their pre-alchemized state. Something like that. Ability alchemy. Revert alchemization. I don't think I really need to do this. So, create card from ID. Actually, do I need to do all this? It would be simpler for me to do, let me think, create card from ID. Yes. So I think what I want to do is target.card definition resource ID. We don't want to do any of this. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to say target.remove composed abilities x true. So we're just going to remove all of them. Or can I set composed abilities? Or clear composed abilities. There we go. Add composed abilities, new card.get all. Get base composed abilities, I think. And then we also want to do target.clear. Is there a way to remove the legendary? Oh, remove legendary, right. Reagent output overrides. I don't think that's correct. Oh, but the problem here, these are still going to be affected by alchemy. Do I want that to happen? I probably don't. I probably want this to be... I probably want this to be after all the alchemy happens. Card to post output callbacks. Register post output callback. Post output callback. Trying to think of how I want to sequence this, because I don't, if you're going to revert the item to its pre-alchemy state, it probably shouldn't be affected by that alchemy either. So I'm trying to think of how I want to do that. Maybe it would be better to add them as an output override. Okay, so what if I just do target.duplicate? Am I using this duplicate anywhere? Is there, there might be some problems in here too. Temporary tags, temporary excluded tags, temporary tags override. Okay. Card.temporary excluded tags equals temporary excluded tags. I think I forgot to add those to the duplication. I don't really know where I'm using this duplication that much. I mean, board configuration model, alchemy duplicate item. So I guess that's all right. So yeah, so here's what I'm going to do. Alchemy transmute input. So record reagent affected card, reagent output overrides.add. So var new, so wait, let's call this base card, base card. Let's do adjusted item is equal to target.duplicate. Yeah, let's do that. We're going to do adjusted item is equal to target.duplicate. And then this becomes adjusted item. Okay, and then record reagent affected card. Alchemy transmute input. Selected card. So record reagent affected card target. And then we want to do reagent output overrides. Adjusted item. I guess I'll call this adjusted card. And then effects.reagent. How do I remove an item? Wait a minute. How do I remove an item? Interesting. I don't know how to do that. So I need to actually destroy the original item. I mean, do I want to do that? It's probably okay, I guess. Reagent output overrides. Do I have a way of removing items? Reagent output overrides. Alchemy. Input config. Man, I don't know how to do this. So I think what I need to do is I need to filter. So I need to add another record or another hash set or something of items that I want to remove from Alchemy, because right now what it does is it just passively removes reagents, but I have no way of saying that I want to remove a card. And now I'm going back and forth, like, do I want to try to remove? So basically what I'm doing here for the chrysalis is I'm basically creating a new item of the same base type. I'm duplicating the item that the chrysalis is affecting. And then what I'm doing is I'm essentially just clearing all the abilities from that duplicated item and then re-adding the base composability from this one. And so the reason I'm doing that is because then it will preserve, well, actually that won't work either. I was going to say it's going to preserve the tier and everything, but I actually don't want to do that. So I may... The other problem, okay, so the other problem is if I just modify the target directly, it's going to be affected at some point by other items in the alchemy system. So there's a life cycle issue here. I think if you're reverting an item with the chrysalis, it shouldn't be modified by alchemy because like that would produce an unexpected result. So I somehow need to have it force the change. But also, I actually don't think it's safe to even do this here. So yeah, I think I need to take a different approach to this. Yeah, I don't think it's safe for me to actually modify the targets directly in here. So I need to come up with a different way. So I may need to use the post alchemy callback. The problem that that's going to create though is that that happens after all the ability shuffling is done. So for example, it may show like those little wispies that come down from the alchemy drawer. It may show, for example, like a corrupted abilities entering the pot when there is no corrupted abilities. So there's going to be weirdness to handle either way. Shoot. Callback reagent target. Context and target. Reagent is equal to target is equal to target. I don't really know what all this is doing, but that's okay. So I don't think this is going to work, but we can try it. This is not going to work either. Shoot. Why is this one so hard? I don't think this is the way to do it. Okay, let's restart again. Just get rid of that, get rid of this. Okay. New card. Let's just make it simple, and then I'll figure out the other problems in a second. Okay. New card dot add enchants. Target dot get enchantments. New card dot. Is that it? Set tier capped add enchants. I think that's it. Is there anything else I'm forgetting? So add new card. Okay. Set tier capped add enchants. So we're preserving the tier, we're preserving the enchantments, but everything else will be affected by alchemy. So we could do that. Oh, I will probably want to duplicate this actually. Select x dot duplicate. Okay. Let's just see if that works. It's going to create a copy of the item and not remove the old item, but that's okay. We'll handle that in a second. Revert alchemization. Okay, we're going to build. Hello, S. Bowen, welcome. Game you mix matching items to get better ones after each combat. You should try it. No, I'm not a mobile gamer, sorry to say. I absolutely hate doing anything on my phone. If I could ditch my phone, I would. But unfortunately, it's a requirement for the modern age. So I have this Pokken Tournament DX emoticons for some reason. That's all right. I'm learning Godot, is looking for your Udemy course and wonder why you chose C# for your project. Yeah, I just prefer the structure that C# gives me, that's all. It's just easier for me to create the kinds of systems that I need to create for this game in C#. Man, I started teaching myself pixel art, and that is tough stuff. It is tough stuff. Yeah, it is tough stuff. Maybe do it the wrong way, that works. Iterate, then improve. Well, the problem is, it's not that I don't know all of the ways that it could go wrong. Like, I do know all the ways that it could go wrong. That's why I was thinking about it. There's like 5 different ways of accomplishing what I'm trying to accomplish, and each one that I thought of had some kind of edge case that wasn't going to work, right? So it's not that the problem is I had a bunch of different options and they all had different downsides, and so trying to figure out, you know, can I use the existing functionality? Do I need to extend the functionality? But yeah, I generally think that's a good approach. Like, you just do it the straightforward way. But the problem is, like, I'm kind of past that stage. The game is releasing in a couple of months, so I can't really afford to just like, well, it's good enough for now, go forward. Like, no, like everything I add from this point forward needs to actually be like complete and ready for release. So that's another problem too. So I can't just do it like the sloppy way and say, well, if bugs show up, that's fine, I'll fix that later. You know what I mean? That is definitely an attitude that I had earlier on in development, but I can't have that attitude anymore. Otherwise, the release will be very buggy. So yeah, so it's just a matter of thinking through all the consequences of what I'm doing and trying to anticipate the edge cases and then figuring out, what do I need to do to address those edge cases? Like, what is the approach that I could take that would minimize the edge cases or unintended behavior, and then what functionality can I like patch into that system that will address those things. So I'm trying to think about all of that all at once. Ups, object reference not set to an instance of object. Why is that happening? Because there's a null reference there, probably. Friend of mine build 3D games in Haskell. He's not right in the head. I started working on a rocky planet battlefield for my game and came up with some pretty cool looking breaches, holes, cracks, and some rock slabs, and ended up surprising myself. Awesome. Okay, there's still something wrong here. Let's debug the translation generator and see what's going on here. Why is this working? Keyword 0. Oh, it still doesn't like that. Oh, I think I need to do excluded tag filter. Wait, so where am I? Actually, do I need to fix that? Suppress tag. Oh, I have suppress tag filter text. Okay, well, that's fine. Whatever. So this is a relatively new thing, this excluded tag filter. But everywhere else I'm using this, I'm suppressing the tag filter text, so that's fine, I guess. Should probably address that. So the problem is when I'm defining my query options, the tag filter is an or, right? So if I have a tag filter that says reagent or minion, this will match one of them. So if the card has a reagent or a minion tag, that query will pass. I currently don't have a way of, at least I don't think I have a way of doing an and, so requiring that an item has both like a weapon tag and a minion tag. But there's also no way to do like a tag exclusion filter very easily, so I had to add this. And actually, with those two things in place, yeah, I have no way of doing an and. I have no way of requiring both tags to exist. That may be something that I want to do in the future, but I haven't really found a need for that yet. But it could be interesting, you know, have a specific item that queues off of two tags needing to exist on an item. Anyway, that's not relevant right now. C# is nice for all the data structures you get for free, hashet, stacks, queues. I've been using heavy use of records too. Records are nice because when you do an equality comparison, it checks against all of the properties instead of the reference. So like if you do an equality comparison between two class instances, it will just check if it's the same reference. But if you do an equality comparison between two records, it goes value by value or property by property and does an equality check on all of those, which is pretty nice. So you can have two different record objects, and if they contain the same data, then they're considered as equal to each other. And that can be really useful in certain situations. But the caveat there is that it's not like a true deep equals. So like, I'm pretty sure it doesn't like, yeah, it's not pretty sure. I'm positive that it doesn't do like a deep check into like dictionaries or lists or anything. So if the lists have different references, even if the lists contain the same data, if the lists are different references, then the records won't be equal to each other. But for simple records that have like very simple data types, or they are indeed sharing references in each of their properties, then that can be very useful. What am I doing? Chrysalis. Okay, so we've got the chrysalis of rebirth. That's a reagent. Card flavor text chrysalis. Cool. So let's just slap those guys on there. Okay, so we've got some damage abilities on this guy, got some undead on this guy. We will do this, do that. See, it's putting abilities into the pot now, which is not great. But, so yeah, there's our new wolf that's been reverted. Add item, skeleton, warrior 5. Add enchant, paralysis, immunity. Really? Add enchant, tag, weapon. Are you serious? Do I not remember any of the IDs of my enchantments? Enchant factory. Let's just do swarm enchant. Okay, swarm. That's good. Fine. Add enchant swarm. Okay, so we've got the swarm here. Let's alchemize this with something. Okay, so now I can do add item chrysalis. It should preserve the enchant and the tier and just get rid of, yeah, those abilities there. Okay, now I also want to check it and make sure it should be doing this, but I want to make sure that it reverts any cooldown reduction as well. So this is 2.8 now. Add item chrysalis. I have an extra space in there. I can fix that. So see, there was a corrupted indicator there. Oh, because it's still preserving that item. So deal 8 damage, deal 3 damage. Okay. And that's back up to 3 seconds. Good. All right. So the reversion is working. Now we just need to get rid of the old item. Before I do that, get rid of that extra space. So inside of this reagent effects, I think what I need to do is I need to record let's do public hash set base card remove card overrides, something like that. I don't know, we'll just do public void record card to remove base card. Add base card. Okay, alchemy input config now. So we've got non-reagent input cards. So in here, I want to say something like var cards to output is equal to non-reagent.input cards where x not reagent effects dot remove card overrides dot contains x to list. Okay, and then all of these cards to output. Okay, so now in the alchemy revert alchemization, we're going to do effects, record, card to remove, target. So what the problem is, I can't do any of those removals or changes to the target in here because this contribute effect actually runs. So basically, the way that I'm getting the tooltip data when you hover over items to say like what the corruption chance is and which ability is going to be changed, what I'm actually doing is I'm running the full alchemy process under the hood. So as soon as the alchemy pot state changes, I'm essentially running the alchemy, the whole alchemy process. So I know exactly how everything is going to change ahead of time. And of course, I'm just hiding that from the player. But what that gives me, that gives me all of this data, right? Here's the input data, here's the output data. And then I can compare those two data sets together to give the player exact information about like how many abilities are going to change and what abilities are protected and stuff. So this contribute effect is a method that exists on all reagents. So it's an alchemy reagent effect. And this essentially just allows me to stuff a bunch of data into this context object, which contains all this data about like, you know, what cooldowns are changing in the reagent to affected cards, etc. And then I just actually apply those things when the player clicks the button, but they're never applied until the player clicks the button. So this is just like a pure data representation. So yeah, I basically have all the data about the alchemy before it even happens. And the player clicking the button is basically just a formalization of all that stuff. So anyway, I don't remember why I brought that up. Oh, the reason, so I can't actually I can't do, for example, target.destroy in here, which destroys that target, because then as soon as you put an item into the pot, because this is being run in the background, it would just delete the item right there. And you'd be like, what the heck? So I basically have to record all the changes that I want to make, and then I actually make those changes take effect when the player clicks the button. So that adds a little bit of complexity because now I have to store all this data about what I want to change, and then, you know, make that take effect. But anyway, I think this may work. We'll see. You can implement yourself in GDScript, which isn't hard per se. Yeah. Once you get used to Link, it's so hard not to have it. Yeah, that's true. Currently using GDScript, but I'm missing interfaces and some better type checking. Yeah, for sure. The art is great. How did you make all that? Lots of time and patience and practice. That's it. I've been working on the game for a year and a half, just about. And a lot of that time has been spent working on art. And, you know, it's one of those things where it's just iterative, you know, I just keep working on art, keep doing stuff. I mean, I've shown the early versions of the game before. As a matter of fact, I could show you now if you're interested. So this is an old screenshot of the game. So this is what it used to look like. This was probably within the first like 3 months or so of development. So this is what the old inventory drawer used to look like. You'll notice that there's not even an alchemy drawer, because even at this point in the game, alchemy was not always available. So we've got alchemy here that's just part of your inventory that you can use it. But that actually wasn't a thing back then. And you could see here's the old skeleton warrior, the old ceremonial dagger, the old villager, and of course the health globes, the old health globes and stuff. So yeah, this is what the art looked like when the game first started. It's not very impressive at all, right? But you can see that, you know, I did take some of the ideas from this old art. So you've got like the scales here, and then here you can see that there's a little scale thing there, but it's a lot more ornamental and decorative and less, you know, obvious what it is. And so yeah, I mean, it's just iterative. Like, basically none of this art on this screen that you see, with the exception of this prayer beads and this mutton, nothing is the same, right? It's quite a night and day difference, isn't it? Old art, new art. Old art, new art. So yeah, it's kind of fun to see. But it's just practice, lots of time, lots of practice, and of course, redrawing and reworking things multiple times. Okay, so add item chrysalis. Hello, Cruda, welcome. Good to see you. How are you doing? I'm doing well. I'm pretty sure you can mix and match too, though. Say right player controller, GD scripting, complex game logic, and C#. Yeah, you could definitely do that, yeah. Just feels like a week ago I saw this. I saw those shorts. Which shorts? I need to do more shorts. The shorts tend to do pretty well. I just haven't had time to make any videos, man. I'm just like so focused on getting the demo build, I basically don't do anything else. I have to tell my wife, sorry, I can't spend time with you. I have to make the game. So, you know, that's what you have to do, though. You just, when you're working on something, you just have to neglect your family and your responsibilities, and everyone understands, I'm sure. That's a joke, by the way. I love my wife very much. Anyway, so let's see. Revert that. We get back out a werewolf. There we go. Add item. Elf in a jar. So we'll do this. Add item. Chrysalis. Okay, so werewolf is 4 seconds. So if I do this and I do this and I put that there. So what I'm worried about is that the corruption chance will proc. Oh. Okay, so that seems to be working. Actually, maybe it won't. Maybe it won't do that. So let me try something a little bit different here. So we're going to put that in there. We're going to add, let's just do add item, I don't know, mouse. We'll do another 1x1 item. We're going to keep the corruption chance as high as possible. Add item chrysalis. You know, one thing about the alchemy change is that reagents don't lower the corruption chance anymore. So the corruption chance is based on the number of abilities in the pool. And so the strategy of just throwing a bunch of reagents into the pot to reduce the corruption chance is no longer a strategy at all, which I like. But I think the corruption chance may be a little bit too punishing now. So I may tune down the starting corruption chance at the base difficulty by like 10% or something. Every ability that gets added to the pool reduces it by 5%. So basically you need to have 10 abilities in the pool before you get to 0 corruption chance. So if I reduce the top line number by 10%, then it would go down to 8 abilities required. So I may do that, but yeah, reagents can no longer be used as just like throwaway things to reduce your alchemy chance, or your corruption chance, I mean. Anyway, so let's see what happens. So we got a corrupted ability and it went onto the mouse. That's good. I need to understand how this is actually working. So alchemy input config. So I think these alchemy output results are the things that tell me how many corrupted abilities are going to be in the result. I mean, we could trace that maybe. So get outputs, alchemy manager, get outputs. So we got alchemized cards here, alchemy container, alchemization started, alchemy manager, alchemized cards. Set alchemy result. Alchemy results created. Right, so alchemy results created. Alchemy ability pool on alchemy results created. On alchemy results created. Wait, am I subscribing to that? No, I'm not. Okay, alchemy container. All new abilities. Okay, yeah, okay, good. So we're not going to get the situation I was thinking. So what I was thinking is it would put, let's say, a corrupted ability on the candle before the chrysalis took effect on it. But because that's creating a new item and the old item is being filtered out from the results, then it will not ever detect any ability changes to that item. So that should be fine. Now it is doing that. I guess that makes sense though, but that's all right. Okay. So I think the chrysalis is working, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anything in here. Doesn't look like it. Okay, I didn't miss anything there. That's good. Did I rebuild the translations yet? I didn't. Okay, let's do that. Rebuild the translation. That looks correct. Okay. Oh, the other thing I want to check too. So to make sure that it doesn't have the alchemy effect border on it. So let's see. Put those in there. Ooh, lots of corrupted abilities coming out. Okay. Cool. Yeah, so it's resetting the alchemy count as well. Good. Okay, I think that's it. So I need to do the flavor text for this. All right, let's do some more content then. We'll keep going for a little bit longer. So that's basically done. I just need to do the flavor text before it's marked as done. So we need to do the reagents that can like protect heal abilities and all that stuff. I also want to add more enchants for the conversion stuff. So that might be an easy thing to do. Board effects. There's more board effects I can do as well. Do I have board effect ideas written down? Board effect. If weapons are the only adjacent items bleed, heal X per cell this item occupies. Let's do that one. I don't think we have any heal board effects yet, so we'll do that. Pain in my leg has been extremely bad, just laying up in bed not doing anything. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm very sorry to hear that. I hope you can get the care you need soon. Werewolf is badass. I agree. I found your game from YouTube Shorts. You should definitely invest some time on it. Oh, I see. Oh, are you seeing the Fear-demic shorts? But glad you're here. Welcome to the stream. Are runs and everything seed-based? Yes. So the plan is by release. There will be a way for you to not only copy your seed, but to enter a seed prior to starting a run. And the goal is to allow players to share their busted runs, right? So like, hey, here's this seed where I got like 10 artifacts and here's what I did. Here's the seed, go try it yourself, right? But the other thing that I want to do, and this may not be a feature at release, but it is something that I want to do as a patch in the future, post-release, is having some kind of daily run where everyone plays on the same seed, and then the daily run has some kind of modifier on it as well that changes how the game works. And then that would obviously rotate every day. So, you know, I think that would be kind of like a little bit of light, you know, community feature. So basically just take the system time and just, you know, clamp it to midnight of that day or whatever in UTC, and then use that number as the seed, like the millisecond number or something as the seed. And so everyone, I mean, obviously the time, well, if it's in UTC, then it would be the same instant in time, right? So everyone who clicks start daily run at that moment in time will play the exact same run. I think that would be really fun for sure. Who's your favorite Spider-Man? Tobey Maguire. First Spider-Man movie from the, what's the director's name? Everyone knows the one I'm talking about. That is the best Spider-Man. Also, only like one of the few Spider-Mans that I've seen, but that movie is freaking goated. I love that movie. Will achievement challenge progression not go up when doing inputted seed run? No, I don't think so. I don't see a reason to restrict that. So if players find a seed that's like really good for grinding out a certain challenge progress, like I would rather have players sharing and talking about my game and sharing their tips and secrets and stuff with each other than try to like lock that down. I don't see a reason to do that. So yeah, if you find a particularly broken seed and you just want to play that one over and over again, be my guest. Be my guest. My game is hella alpha, but I'm really hoping that when I'm done, people will be excited and share their builds afterwards. Yeah, I'm honestly like very honored that you guys enjoy the game so much that you hop on the Discord and share your broken builds and stuff. It's a very cool thing to see. You know, I've never really made a game like that where people like want to talk about it and share like all the broken stuff that they did. So yeah, it feels pretty good. So we're going to do this board effect. Heal X per cell this item occupies. Yeah. So we'll do that, but I'm going to take another quick break. Hello, Snupbill. Thank you for the IDR 10,000. Very much appreciated. Thank you, thank you. Welcome back. Good to see you as always. Yummers. All right, I'm going to take a quick break, and when I come back, we will implement this new board effect. So, BRB. All right, I'm back. Hello, Footlong Icicle. Welcome. Good to see you. Hello, Johnny FX. Quick question. What do you guys think about GD Quest course? GD Quest is great. I always recommend them. Their courses are very high quality. I have nothing other than that to say. I think the educational content is great, and I don't think you can go wrong with a GD Quest course at all. Not like it makes a huge difference in a single player game. I know that Binding of Isaac unlocks or disabled input speed runs is why I was curious. Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't really see a reason to do that, you know. But, all right, let's do a new board effect. So let's create new heal per occupied cell. Where do I want to do here? Swarm fire. Let's just copy this one. Heal per occupied cell. Heal per occupied cell. We'll create that ability, but first I need to add this here. Okay. So now we can just create the ability. I think this should be relatively easy. Yeah, I might as well just put it in here. Composed is equal to composed ability. We need a card data provider. And then let's wrap that in a generic non-combat is equal to new generic non-combat composed ability dot from abilities card data provider. Okay, and then we're gonna do base heal var. Oh wait, we don't need scaling, so we'll just say base heal equals 2 var value scalar is equal to new value scalar, and we want to scale. I don't even need a value scaler. Let's just do a generic value provider. Generic value provider int. Okay, so in here we're going to say return card data provider dot, I don't know, it doesn't matter, absolute or card definition resource dot absolute occupied cells dot count times base heal. Okay. Dynamic heal is equal to new dynamic magnitude ability, generic value provider. Oops. Generic value provider, new heal 0. Okay, and then we do ability configuration. Key is equal to, I guess we'll just call this heal per occupied cell. Abilities, generic non-combat, and then dynamic heal. Keywords dot heal dot capitalized 0 per cell this item occupies. This one, what is this called? Ability board effect. Okay. Description template parameters func base heal goes in there. I think that's it. So then we just put this in here. I think that's it. Project settings, limit board effects on. Let's see what happens. You're welcome. Found the secret item on a reagents only run, and I'm torn on whether I should use it. Uh-oh. You gotta use it. You never know when you're gonna see the secret item again. You can always do a reagent run, but secret item is rare. Is there any extension IntelliSense autocomplete for C# Godot? If you use a external IDE, yes. Godot, the Godot editor does not have IntelliSense autocomplete for C# projects. I forgot to build the translations. I always forget to do that. I always forget to do that. Okay, so now I can do something like add item marionette. Heal 2 per cell this item occupies. So that should be healing 6. Yep, that works. I don't really think I need to test much more than that. Let's just, for the sake of it, do a giant mushroom. Put that there. The giant mushroom doesn't have a crit bonus. I don't know how that happened, but I should probably fix that. So it should heal, what, 12? Does that sound right? Yeah. Okay. I think we're good with that. Yeah. Add heal per occupied cell board effect. So yeah, that's basically, I mean, we just got to add a whole bunch of new content, new legendary abilities, new board effects, new items, all that good stuff. So that's what I'll be working on. I mean, I got to get the demo build ready to go. And I also have to test the demo build quite a lot because I know what the game feels like with all the content available, but in the demo build, obviously I'm stripping a lot of content. So I want to make sure that the player can still have a fun experience with the stripped down content. But yeah, that may be hard to do. We'll see. Problem was that it was also my furthest reagent only run I've ever had. Oof. Yeah, I see the struggle. All right, well, I think I will end this stream there. I got to add flavor text to that chrysalis. But I am getting hungry, so I'm going to go ahead and get some lunch. But thank you, everyone, for watching. Be careful with the game stealers. Yeah, that's why I'm stripping the content from the demo. I mean, that's part of the reason. Just try to make it a little bit harder to just like flip a flag and get the whole game. So the content is actually being stripped from the demo. I have a script that does that. So the demo build will actually ship with less content in the files than the full game. But anyway, looking good so far. Very exciting. Thank you. Thank you, Clickertail. So yeah, I might do another stream later this afternoon. Maybe I'll come up with a list of content to work on, and then we can work on that stuff. But Alchemortis does have a playtest available right now, so if you want to try out the game, you can click request access here. I would appreciate any and all feedback, which you can leave at the Discord. And then it's onward to the demo. The demo is going to be available some point in the nearish future. And then, yeah, we just got to focus on release. So we're getting very, very close now. Every day gets a little bit closer. I am so ready to have this game out there in the wild for you all to play. But yeah, anyway. Sent gold coin for 10 jewels. Thank you, SinZKB. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. All right, well, that's it, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your support. I will see you in the next one, and bye-bye for now.